Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We're on our last multiple choice question, question number 5, which asks us to determine the value of this sigma notation right here. Looks like we're adding up cubes, starting with 5 cubed and ending at 8 cubed. Now, you might say, well, didn't we have a formula for this? And we do have a formula if we start at 1. And we saw an example in class where I can use 2 copies of that formula starting at 1 but ending at different places and take their difference to answer something like this. And that might be something to do. I'll show you how to do it that way. But also the numbers here aren't that bad. We could also just write out what this expression is and add them up. It's entirely up to you which one you do. So we'll do the write things out method first, and then we'll talk about the formula. I'm still doing infinities. Bah. I was doing this all day in class yesterday. Okay, I cubed. Well, what does this mean? Well, we come along, we say, okay, I starts at 5. Plug that into the formula, 5 cubed. Then we go up to 6, 6 cubed. Then 7, 7 cubed. And 8, 8 cubed. Now, we don't have calculators, and so this can be a little hard. You might not remember, oh, 5 cubed is 125. You might not remember, oh, 6 cubed is 216. If you need to, especially, I mean, some people know 6 cubed, but 7 cubed, come on. Well, 7 times 7 is 49. What is 7 cubed? Well, it's just 7 times 7 times another 7. And if you need to do these side calculations to get some of the big numbers, you do it. You don't just sit there twiddling your thumbs saying, I wish I had my calculator. No, okay, so 7 times 6 is 3. Well, it's 63, and then we carry the 6. 7 times 4 is 28. We add on 6, 343. Okay, so just writing it out might make people a little shy. They might say, well, I don't know 7 cubed, and I can't possibly remember grade 3, where they taught me how to multiply by hand. 8 times 8 is 64, times a third 8. 8 times 4 is 32, so carry the 3. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 3, 51. Okay. But now, what do? Well, we can just line them all up and add them. And you say, well, I'm terrible at adding them up like this. Okay, just add them up piecewise. 5 and 6, 1, carry the 1. 4, 3. How about 343 and 512? Add these up, 5, 5, 8. Now add these two together for the total answer. 341 plus 855. 6, 9. 11. So 1196. Got my numbers backwards. Or 1196. And I believe that is one of, yeah, there he is. Use the answer E on the end. Okay, so that wasn't so bad. Yeah, we had to stop and think, gee, how do I multiply without a calculator? Which actually panics some people. Which, it's very depressing. Which is why I do my best to stay away from my calculator when I do any math problem, really. Calculators are last resorts for people who say, oh, and round to 3 decimal places. Well, then I have to use a calculator. But for something like this, do your best to always stay away from a calculator, especially when you're trying the Appendix E homework. Anyway, let's look at another way to do this. Okay, with formulas. Now, when I talked about this in class, a number of people were confused. So, when I want something like this, it starts with 5. I say, I don't know that. But I'll tell you what I do know. I know that I should stop writing infinities. All right. I know how to add up the cubes from 1 up to 8. We have a formula for this. And what does this really mean? This means 1 cubed plus 2 cubed. So just draw a dividing line. So we're doing the same question, but in a different way. That's what this means. Now, I want these numbers added up. I don't really care for these numbers from 1 up to 4. So I need to get rid of them in some way. Okay? So the thing that I want is over here. Now, this thing that I don't want, I can express it using sigma notation as well. So how can I just get the thing I want on one side? Well, We rearrange. Thing that I want, thing that I know, minus this other little bit. But as I look at it, oh, this also starts at 1 and goes up to a certain number and is adding up cubes. I have a formula for that too. Okay, and the formula you might remember for adding up cubes that go up to 8 would be 8 squared, 8 plus 1 squared all over 4. If they go up to 4, it'll be 4 squared times 4 plus 1 squared all over 4. Well, these guys have the same common denominator. We'll get 8 squared times 9 squared minus 4 squared times 5 squared. We're going to have to go over to the next page to continue on with this and get our answer. So we'll just copy what we had. 8 squared, 9 squared, minus 4 squared, 5 squared, all over 4. Okay, what can I do? Well, 4 has a factor of 4, and an 8 has a factor of 4, but it does have a 2 left over. Really, any way you would choose to simplify this is fine. 2 times 8 times 9 squared minus 4 times 5 squared. 2 times 8 is 16. 9 squared is 81. That might be a little annoying to multiply. 4 is, well, it's just 4. 5 squared is 25. Okay, well, that's going to be 16 times 81 minus 100. That's not bad. Now all I need to do is figure out 16 times 81. And again, it boils down to just, can we multiply these numbers? There, you know, you could do a slightly fancier way of doing things by realizing 16 is 4 squared, and this is 9 squared, so combined it's 36 squared. But I'm betting most people out there don't know that 36 squared is 1296. Okay, but that's one way to do it. Or you could just default and do this all by hand. 4 and 8, 0, 1, 8, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so we get 1296 minus 100. And that we can all do 1196. So we get the same answer again, E, but a different way. A way that uses our sigma notation formulas to reduce the amount of calculation we actually have to do. Still, you know, we had to calculate. Okay? But that does it for question number 5. Up next will be our written question, question number 6. I will see you guys for that video next time.